Hello, and welcome to Speaking of Supply Chain, where we explore trends, current events, and innovations impacting the logistics and supply chain industries. I'm your host, Ellen Wood. Today, we're excited to be joined by Dr. Hendrik Thamer, the co-founder and CEO of Cellumation, to talk with us about digital technology and AI in logistics and material handling automation. Hello, Hendrik. Welcome.
Hi, Ellen. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Great to have you here. I'm really looking forward to our topic today. But first, let's take a quick break and get to know you a little bit more. So, during the pandemic, and not even just originally in 2020, but over the past few years, have you had any new hobbies that you've started, that you've gotten interested in? You tend to think of lots of creative ideas. What have you done with all this extra time?
Extra time, yes. This was a really hard time for us because we are a very young company, and this was a very dramatic change, the pandemic. In my private life, I had to change my sports habits. So I was usually in a fitness gym, and everything is closed. So I transformed one of my rooms to a complete fitness gym, and my wife was not so happy. And now, when an alternative career could be owner of a fitness studio now in my own house.
So what kind of fitness equipment did you get? Like the bicycle? I know a few people that I know got the Peloton bikes that have the connection to the videos and fitness apps that they can do.
Not so fancy.
Not so fancy.
No, traditional lifting weights and one cardio unit. Yes, but not so fancy.
We did something very similar. We created a weight room, and it's like a Bowflex machine. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those. So we got a Bowflex, and guess how many times we've used it since we purchased it in 2020? Zero.
Zero. Not even once. Oh, yes.
No, we put it together and then we got busy doing other things actually outside. So we'd created this fitness room with high hopes for all the things that we were going to be able to do. And then we have kids. So we were outside playing and doing yard work and doing all these other things. So we never had a reason to have to go upstairs and use the fitness room.
No, I've used it, and I use it still, and I'm not anymore a member in a fitness studio at the moment. So
yeah, I don't enjoy going to the gym anymore. It's just not the same feel as it was prior to 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's hoping that in the new year we get our fitness goals back on track. It always takes a New Year's resolution, doesn't it?
Yeah, now it's the time for making the plans for the next year. Exactly.
Exactly. All right. So back to our topic today. We're talking about innovations and AI in supply chain and material handling and what that's doing for the logistics industry and the current landscape. And so talk to me about Cellumation. What I read on your website is that this started with soccer robots.
Yes, that's true. Cellumation is a startup founded in 2017 in Bremen in Germany. And I founded together with two co-founders, Claudio, my main co-founder. And we have been working in the institute since 2009 together in a logistics automation space. And we developed a lot of crazy things, robots for container unloading, intelligent forklifts. We combined everything, intelligent software, AI, with mechanics. And one day, Claudia had the invention of we had the requirement to develop a very flexible conveyor space. And we don't find a solution. And one day, Claudio had made this scientific investigation in YouTube and found small soccer robots. And they were 20 centimeters from the width. And they can move in all directions, can rotate, can change the speed, brake. And the idea was, okay, these robots can everything what the conveyor should do. So why not take a robot, turn it upside down, combine it with other robots, and move the floor? And that was one of the ideas. Okay, yeah, great. How we can prove it? And we take the weekends in the institute with all the rest material and build a small demonstrator, and it worked. And so we decided, okay, that's big. We have to. That's huge. But it was very early, and so we decided, okay, then let's make our own company out of that, and applied for some funding possibilities, built the first demonstrator where we can move all the objects simultaneously. What's one of our key benefits? And basically now we have a software-driven conveyor platform, which is basically the upside down robot which can combine to arbitrary conveyor layouts, and the software defines what's happening. When you look at the normal warehouse at the moment, you have large lines of conveyors, specific tasks, specific conveyors, and we have a one cell fits all solution so that you can make everything with our cells and some roller conveyors for moving straight forward. We can also move straight forward, but it's a little bit,
it's overkill for your product.
It's overkill, technology overkill, exactly. But we can do all the rest. And that's very, very, you can cover the whole conveying space there and all the software and not with the mechanics. All mechanics is still the same. You can compare it to a mobile phone. That's one platform.
Okay, yeah.
The software, the application makes it a sorting system, rotation system, a transfer system, diverting system. So it's very easy for a logistic company when only have one spare part, the cell. That's everything.
Yeah, it's just the one little piece that could possibly need replaced.
Exactly.
So that was another thing that I read about your product was that because it's so modular, so you can make it to fit a small space or a larger space, and because of the design, the hexagonal design, you can make very, very complex designs of these little modules. And then if one happens to go down, if it has a technical issue, obviously it's the software, but if it has a physical issue that goes wrong, I think it was 7 screws and 5 minutes to replace this one little piece that could potentially break, rather than having to have a huge lift to create, fix something new.
Exactly. And we made also, we are in the company, we made competitions who can make the fast cell replacement. And we had once, I think 5 months ago, we had the mayor of Bremen here from the city and you have to change the cell. And he took 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And he's a lawyer. He's not a technician. So he's
even better. If a lawyer can do it in 5 minutes,
3 minutes,
3 minutes. And so at the rate that lawyers build, that's okay. So no, we won't worry about what he would bill you for that repair, because they bill in very small increments. But that's even below, I believe, that. So, what types of companies are using this technology right now?
Yeah, we have a huge space. We have, from the dimensions, our smallest unit is 4 cells. And the biggest we have built in Spain, it's 440 cells. It's 11 meters times 2.5 meters. We have here in Germany as implementations at DHL and for a sorting solution. In Spain, a lot for sequencing. And one application we are currently bringing in the market is the layer descrambling for palletizing and depalletizing. When you have example in the depalletizing application, the normal systems need 60 square meters for a layer descrambling of bringing a pallet layer to single parcels, and we do it on less than 3 square meters and faster.
That's significant. So what does that mean for some of these? I know urban hubs is something that we've talked about in previous episodes with other guests. And, some of these, these quick commerce and e-commerce hubs that they have in city centers to be able to handle the amount of last mile delivery. Is that where we're seeing a lot of these implementations or a lot of benefit that could be realized for these organizations?
Yeah, that's true. We are currently entering the last mile sector because the key benefit is high throughput, small space. And in the last mile, you don't have space because you're in the city, near the city, in semi-industrial spaces. And using our technology, you can transform any space in a micro-sortation solution. And we have one pilot here in Germany, in Göttingen, with our partner company Grünfuchs. It's called for sustainable logistics. And we have implemented there a sorting solution on 100 square meters, 4,000 parcels per hour.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a lot for that size space.
Yes, it's really a lot. And now there's the idea there is to connecting or to give a micro-sortation service for logistics service providers, for local retailers, and also you can implement a small storage for making direct to the customer operations. That's only possible when you have a dynamic sorting solution, which can combine all these parcels from different sources and make then a sortation on intelligent routes. And the routes will be delivered then with electric bicycles, electric vehicles,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that you have also.
Yeah, so many other options for the deliveries as well. One other thing I read on the website, and this was interesting because of the design of the particular cells, that there's a six-fold redundancy if something should go wrong. And so explain that, because that took me a minute. I was thinking about it, and then it clicked and made complete sense. I was like, wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, because if one cell breaks down, actually this hasn't happened at the moment. We have the system since 2019 in the industry since any failure or any fail out. And should a cell fail out, make have an error or something like that, the other cells can be as the path to use. And so you have the way you will change the patterns of the movements because it's all software, and we have usually a 3D camera on top which sees what's happening, and when the camera knows, okay, this cell's not working, it will correct the path and change it. So everything goes on and on.
So you don't even need someone watching what's going on or paying attention to the fact that this one isn't reacting. The software recognizes the problem and automatically corrects in order to move around that particular broken cell. And so it self-corrects the problem. You don't even have to have a person paying attention.
Yeah, in most cases not. Yes, that's true.
That's the AI brilliance here, where it's able to self-correct when there's an issue. And then of course it needs to be handled after the fact, or when that line is not currently in use, or when you're able to shut down for a shift. But what other things can the system do in order to reduce the need for manual labor in these facilities?
Yeah, the big benefit is that we have a huge throughput, especially in sorting, and to be realistic, as in Germany and the US probably the same. It's very hard to find people doing the sortation job, and because it's also very hard job, and it's not, the change is not a lot. It's every time the same.
It is very repetitive and physically demanding.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's, I would not say that we are replacing, we are of enabling companies to make this job or this task economically efficient, and able to do this task, because when they don't find people, they don't make money. So automation, as I started in the institute, there was everybody, especially also my parents, said, okay, you do automation, okay, you want to replace human labor. And 2009, okay, could be. But at the moment, I think what we are doing, or what all the other companies are doing, also giving humans the possibility to do the jobs which they are designed for, with creativity and something to work on, not to make this monotonous jobs which nobody wants to do. So it's not. I think automation is not. The time is over. It's not a replacement of human work. It's an addition and optimization.
That's a good point, because a lot of people get very concerned when we talk about, robots taking over or replacing humans in different jobs that they've historically held. And that's a great point, that we need the humans to do the things that robots can't do. We need them to do the thinking. We need them to do the decision making, the critical thinking, the decisions that need to happen from product entering a warehouse to it leaving. But the heavy work of lifting and moving and taking from A to B, that we can put on a robot's back or its upside down feet and let the robots do the work. But that's fantastic that it also has that self-correcting feature as well, so that, again, your humans don't need to be sitting and watching a screen the whole time, because that's not, critical thinking either. That's very, very tiring work, to sit and just stare at the screen and watch for an exception to happen. So what are some other things about your solution? Like, there are other conveying products on the market. So obviously this one's different in the way that it works, but what are some other benefits to traditional conveyance?
Yeah, one of the biggest benefits is we have talked about it, the space saving and the high throughput, but the easy maintenance and the easy setup. For example, we have installed a layer descrambling machine in Spain last month in 1 day, 1.5 days. And usually it takes
That's all
weeks.
it took for the installation, one and
Yeah,
a
it's
half days?
everything. When you see our system, it's looks like a conveyor, but basically it's a robot. It has all the things. It has AI, vision, it has mechanics, embedded hardware, embedded software, all this together. And due to this thing, it's very complex, but we hide the complexity for our customers. For our customers, they use standard systems interfaces. It's very easy to integrate. Also mechanically, it's pre-programmed. It's also we're delivering a black box. So 1.5 days, and everything is ready. And normally, layer descrambling, also sorting machines, took weeks to install.
It does take weeks. And also, a lot of the material handling suppliers out in the marketplace are having their own supply chain issues getting, getting items shipped to where they need to be. So there's delays getting their own components and chips and materials in order to build their conveyance and then deliver it to the clients. So I know that there have been a lot of delays in the past couple of years with supply chain issues for suppliers to get even material handling to their customers. The supply chains have supply chain issues, is what that boils down to. So it doesn't sound like you guys are facing those same issues.
No, we have the beauty and also the risk that we only have one component for our system.
It's just the one thing.
The one thing. So we are we're very keen on having all the parts here that we can produce a cell. So we have many suppliers for all the parts, and also some in stock. So that's one of the biggest advantage. We only have one key element, and it could be applied for many applications, for many products, and also for many industries. And normal companies or traditional companies have specific products for specific applications, and our specification or customization is the software. So basically, it's a software product at the moment. It's not. It
looks like a hardware product,
but it's the main part is the software.
Okay.
And the software is on different areas. You have in the communication protocol between the cells. You have intelligent control software, and you have an application software, and you have this AI part, recognizing the parcels, make a control, and making corrections in the movements or changing the path of the parcels. That's all together. It's a robot. It looks like a conveyor, but it's a robot.
And so one other thing, I know your company is growing.
Yeah.
You've managed to hit 50 employees now, or is
Yeah.
is it larger since that last update that I saw?
Yeah, it's 55 full-time employees. Yeah.
Congratulations. And there was a company goal on your website that was listed as leaders with superpowers. So what superpowers, aside from creating this revolutionary software and AI upside down robot, what superpowers are you hoping to engender within your leadership?
Yeah, that was one brilliant idea of our marketing team. But we made, especially for investor presentations, you need this, and especially in the founder team, to describe how we are working together, what the strength of each of one of us. And the way of Claudio and myself was Claudio is the technical genius. He's very keen on he can feel machines. When he see a machine, he knows how it's working. And
Ooh,
yeah,
that is a good superpower.
I've never seen this before. And my superpower, and also the way we work together, is I'm responsible for realizing the environment, money, customers, team, for making these great ideas happen.
Okay.
And that's fitting very well. And that's been doing since 2009 together, first in the institute and now in the company. And so our marketing team said, okay, that's interesting, but we need to call it superpowers. Okay, that's our superpowers.
It does have a nice ring to it.
Yes, it has a nice ring.
All right. And so people who come up with these brilliant ideas to solve problems, are not usually just a one-trick pony. They don't come up with one idea and then they think, oh, well, that was a nice life. I'm done with that. So what other ideas or what other problems are you looking to solve? Are other people looking to solve? What's coming next in terms of technology and AI and in material handling?
I can say it from our perspective. In our company, we're a very idea-driven company, but we have to focus. That's also one thing we have learned very, very hard. And we are focusing on our platform and will develop all applications in the total conveying space and also make some products for some other industries with the company. I see generally what's happening in our industry is that the software part in every area is much more critical than ever before. So the AI part will increase, and I think we will get to more autonomous systems that we have at the moment. Yes, and you see a lot of, for example, AGVs or autonomous forklifts. That's the future. But nobody thought of the conveyors. Everybody wants to have an intelligent forklift, a robot who's doing something. But that was some of the points we had in the past. We see new robots, intelligent forklifts, but you have kilometers of conveyors, and nobody thinking about that. That's one of the heart of a logistics center. And so we said, okay, let's take over this task and make warehouse automation intelligent and flexible.
Okay. So are there any industries that would not benefit from this type of installment in their facility? I can't think of any. As if you're trying to moving a parcel is going to require effort, and this would work perfectly for that. I'm thinking through other industries, mainly in production, where even just moving things in a production line, this would be useful. And then, of course, we already talked about the micro hubs. So this feels like it's a great solution for material moving, regardless of where in the supply chain you are. I can't understand why everyone doesn't have these already.
It takes the time. Next year.
It takes time.
That's
next year.
Our next year. Yeah, next year promise.
So we have the plan for 2023. This is going to be in every facility. All right. Are your 55 people ready for that? That boost?
You will see.
I look forward to seeing these in more facilities. I do some facility visits, and I visit a lot of trade shows. So I look forward to seeing your product out on these trade show floors, marketing to all of these companies that clearly could benefit from utilizing this technology. Any closing remarks?
No, that's a good final words. Yes, it's true. We have one cell fits all, and it's not the all is could be the conveying functionalities, could also be other industries. Everything where objects have moved from A to B, that's there we can be integrated.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. That brings us to the end of our episode. It has been a lot of fun talking with you today, Hendrik. Thank you for telling us your story. I hope our listeners have enjoyed the discussion as much as I have. If any of our listeners out there has a suggestion for a topic or would like to be a guest on our show, we'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at podcast@mibach.com. Please rate and review us on whatever podcast platform you prefer. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google, or Spotify. And be sure to tune in next time. And as always, thanks for listening to Speaking of Supply Chain.